Hi everyone, so I am coming to you from my doorstep today, and the main reason why is because this is where I can muster to have the best lighting here in the house, because I actually left from my home in the province and I left at the crack peep of dawn. So I left some stuff, and that includes the cable wires that I need to connect my lighting equipment to the outlet. So that's why I'm here in my doorstep right now, because this is where I can get the best lighting for us today. But anywho, so let's just do the best with what we have today. And as you guys can see in my background, so there are some brushes, so we will be talking about that a little bit later. But for now, let's talk about this package that I bought from Beautylish a few weeks ago. So I actually got this, and this arrived in the mail right before I left. So this is what I will be showing you guys today. So let me just get to the packaging first. Okay, so ta-da! Of course, we have the nice Beautylish packaging here. And let's just open it and remove it. And let's start with, should I start with this? Is it all here? Okay, so yeah, I believe this is all it. So let's break the seal. I'm gonna show you guys the goodies that I got. Alright, so I actually bought some liquid pigments from Danessa Myricks, her ColorFix. And I do remember saying in a video before that I didn't like the way these ColorFix liquid eyeshadows actually stained brushes, because it really takes a while for me to clean those brushes out. And I've actually had a change of heart. So I think that her ColorFix liquid pigments are amazing, although they're still very difficult to clean from brush heads. I find that they are very, very useful and very effective, especially when you're on stage and you're working under very extreme lighting equipment. These really last a long, long time. And also it's very hot and humid here, so this really helps to make your eye makeup stay. So I'm gonna show you guys the colors that I got, and the first color is the color named Chosen, and it's a very nice, like, pink magenta kind of a color. Very pretty, so I'm excited to try that. And the next color is Primary Yellow, so as you guys can see here, very nice. And yeah, so I actually did buy a lot of colorful pigments for this purchase, because I just wanted to add more, like, variety into my eyeshadows. And truthfully, when you have liquid pigments, you can actually mix the colors, especially if you have the primary colors. You can just mix them all together and you can get a ton of colors just by using those pigments. Anywho, so the next color that I have here is called Royalty, and it has a very nice violet tone to it. Very nice, like the color of grapes. And this is called Primary Blue, so it's a very nice pop of blue color. Very beautiful, love this. And finally, I have the color Blackout here, and it's in the color Black. So I'm not gonna swatch these eyeshadows for us today here, because I didn't bring a lot of my makeup stuff with me coming here, because I'm only going to be here for a short while. And I actually want to use these liquid pigments from Danessa Myricks with other eyeshadows. So I'm sure by the time I get back to my home in Metro Manila, I'm gonna be uploading a video me using these pigments and some of the eyeshadows. Okay, so please hang around for that. Okay, and the special pieces that came in this purchase is actually these 3 eyeshadow brushes from the Lotus set of Sonia G. So let me just remove them from its plastic packaging. Of course, they still come with a Kumano Fude seal that we see here. And I have here the Lotus Worker brush, the Lotus Soft Definer brush, and the Lotus Builder brush. So I have been actually very intrigued by the Lotus set of Sonia G, and I'm so glad that she actually sold them as individuals, because before, these brushes, they were sold as a set. And basing on what I saw before on the Lotus set, I wasn't really in the market for the 2 other brushes, like the what do you call that brush of hers? The one that's like a fan that you're going to be using for a base. Hey Milu, that's my dog. And also one it was like an angled brush. So I can't remember those names because I wasn't really particularly interested in getting them, but I was very interested in getting these three because, as I've said in previous videos before, I am very interested in getting doubles, especially if I like a certain brush. Now, before I talk about the brushes individually, let's look at the beautiful handles of these three brushes from the Lotus set. Now, the Lotus set has this very nice, like, purpley pink violet handle that we see here. And the ferrule here has a very nice violet-y color. And then we have this white here at the very base of the ferrule. And then we see a lot of this, like, faded violet-y pink colors that gradually becomes darker as it nears the base of the handle of the brushes. Now, I do have to say, though, that admittedly, when I first saw this handle design in pictures when it was first released, I wasn't really liking it because I didn't like that there was a pop of white color here in the middle, because in my brain I would have preferred if the darker colors would have been here, and then it would all start to, like, get lighter, and it would have been white here at the base of the brush handle, because it would just, like, to me it would just be a much more perfect balance of color, wherein the white tip of the brush head here reflects at the white tip of the base of the handle. But that's just me, and it's no big deal. But having a darker color here on the ferrule and here at the base of the handle of the brush is a very Sonia G trademark, because it is also the same design that we see in, like, her brushes. So it's always darker here in the ferrule, and it's also darker here at the base. So again, having this in my hand now and seeing it for the first time, I have to say that it's a very extremely pretty brush handle in terms of color. Okay, so let's talk about these brushes individually, and I'm going to start by talking about the Lotus Worker. Now, the Lotus Worker, why I'm so interested in getting this is because this is very similar to the Worker 2 brush from her permanent line. So let me just go and get it. Yes, so this is the Worker 2 from the Fundamental series, and I do love using the Worker 2 brush for more ways than one. So I use this for concealer, liquid eyeshadow, cream eyeshadow, things like that. And I'm so glad that the Worker 2 got reincarnated as the Lotus Worker, because I have now two different colored handles. Because the thing with me is I use one brush for lighter colored eyeshadows and one brush for darker colored eyeshadows. At least now, if I have these two brushes with me, I can, like, differentiate which brush I use for like, the things that I'm doing at that moment. So as you guys can see here, if you put it side by side, they're very similar. But of course, the Lotus Worker, the brush head here, is just, it's whiter than the Worker 2, and that's mainly because the Worker 2 brush is from the Fundamental line, is a bit older in my collection. So it's very natural that eventually the Lotus Worker brush here, the brush head, will eventually start to darken with age. Now, in terms of length, as you guys can see here, there's a very slight difference in terms of length of the handles, wherein the Lotus Worker is shorter than the Worker 2 from the Fundamental series. But the brush heads, they're quite similar, almost the same. They taper in the same matter. Also here on the side, we can see that the brush heads have the same thickness and fullness here at the belly. And if we look here at the top, they also have the same way of actually blooming out. So they're very similar. Now, if you're watching this video and you're new to the Sonia G line, it's a very great idea to actually get brushes from her sets, because it's a great introduction into her philosophy. And also, one other thing, I think Sonia's line is evolving, so I don't know if the Fundamental brushes are going to be coming back, because so far all that I have seen is that most of the brushes that are being restocked are the ones that has this nice like, handle that thins out as it nears the base. So anywho, we have no news yet from Sonia G about any changes in her line, but if you've been waiting for the worker to and it hasn't been like stocked yet, it's a great idea to have the Lotus worker in its place. And the next brush that they have here is the Lotus Builder brush, and I am so happy that I got this because this is very similar to her Builder 3 brush from her Fundamental series, and I do not have that brush. So having the Lotus Builder will actually complete me having her 3 different type of builder brushes. So if we're just going to put them side by side here, this is the builder 1. It has dyed goat hairs as a brush head, and this is the builder 2, undyed, and this is the Lotus Builder, which is also undyed. Now I do love how different the brush head looks like. So if we put the Lotus Builder in between the builder 1 and the builder 2, we can see the difference in the brush head design, wherein the Lotus Builder is actually smaller than the builder 2, but it's also bigger than the builder 1, and we can also see the difference of the fullness of their bellies here. And also the way the brush head they still have this paddle kind of brush head design, but the Lotus Builder here is actually not as full as the builder 1 and the builder 2. But when I'm feeling, this is the first time that I'm feeling the Lotus Builder, and I can still feel how resilient the brush head is. So again, this will work with very stubborn eyeshadow products, especially those types of eyeshadows that have a lot of glitters in them. This will just really help you pick them up properly. And I do love the size of the brush head of the Lotus Builder because this will really work with smaller eyelids, and I do have smaller eyelids, and I also work with a lot of people who have smaller eyelids because a lot of Asian eyes. So I love the size of this. So I'm so glad that I am finally able to have the Builder 1, 2, and technically the builder 3 via the Lotus Builder. Alright, and the last brush is the Lotus Soft Definer brush. Now, just looking at the brush head right now, I can really say that it's actually smaller than the Mini Booster. So let's just put them side by side here. The total length of the brush handle, excluding the brush head, is almost the same. And the brush heads are very, very different. I think just looking at it right now, it looks very different to me because I haven't washed the brush head yet of the Soft Definer, but it can easily be the baby sister of the Mini Booster. And again, I love small brush heads like this because this will really help you to create nice detailing in your socket area or even in the outer V portions of your eye. So let me try this because hang on. So I actually went to Watson's here because as I said earlier, I actually didn't bring makeup with me, and I wasn't expecting to create a video like this for us today. But anywho, so I bought for myself a number of eyeshadow products, but I'm gonna use this brown eyeshadow first. So this is from the brand Colorland, and I think this is made in, where is this made? Well, it doesn't say where it's made, so let's try this anyway. So I just want to see how well the Soft Definer actually can pick up color. So it's quite resilient. Actually, I can see there's some disturbance on the eyeshadow product here, so we have to be very careful. I'm just patting off the excess here at the back of my hand. So it's a very warm brown, and let's just see how, oh wow, this is a very nice brush that can really get into the socket line. How cool is that? Let me get myself a mirror. Hang on. Sorry if I seem very unprepared for this video because I left so many stuff back home and I really wasn't expecting to be creating a video like this while I was here. But anyway, alright, so as you guys can see, this brush actually does impart color in a very specific area of the eye. So if you start by adding the color here and blending it out here, you will see that it left a much more higher impact of color in the initial impact side of your eye, and it can actually blend out the color well into the inner corner of your eye. So this can be a nice brush if you want to have very nice detailed eyeshadow makeup application look. But also one other thing, that's because I actually didn't use an eyeshadow base, and I just applied this eyeshadow with this brush directly. So maybe that's also because of the eyeshadow and the way that it's sticking to my eyelid. But again, as you guys can see, just by adding the color here in the outer V portion, we can instantly see the Lotus Soft Definer is actually adding a very nice defined eyeshadow look in the eye, but it's still very, very soft. So that is actually kind of cool. So this is a nice brush. So if you're looking for a sort of like a crease brush that actually adds soft defined eyeshadow looks, this is a good brush to have. Right, so I actually want to play around with this Lotus Soft Definer some more, because I haven't washed the brush head yet, and it's very rare for me to show you guys how I use eyeshadow brushes without washing them first. So I am still going to observe how well the Lotus Soft Definer is actually going to work with my makeup sentiments. So I'm so excited to try this out in the next coming weeks when I am going to be going back to work. But other than that, upon first try out of the Soft Definer, I am liking the way that it actually helps me in delivering eyeshadow colors and blending them out on the eyelids. So that's actually perfect. Okay, so while we're trying out eyeshadow products and new brushes, so let me get the Builder brush. And I actually also bought a new eyeshadow palette. Now this one is like super cheap. I think this one is like a little over $1.50, and this is made in China. And I just bought this like in some store here in the province where they also sell hardware stuff, cooking stuff, whatever. So this is highly scented, and I'm just going to pick up this color here. Ooh, and it's a very creamy color. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of that here in the middle of my eyelid. So I just hope to God that I won't react to whatever ingredient is in the formula of this eyeshadow. But so far, I am loving the reflectivity of the shimmer of this eyeshadow palette. What's the name of the eyeshadow palette? Sorry, I forgot to show you guys. So it is called the Ultimate Dodo Girl Professional Makeup, and it's kind of nice actually, and I can't believe that we are getting this kind of color payoff for the price of this eyeshadow palette. Very nice, very pretty. Alright, so that's the Lotus Builder, and again, as I've said earlier, I love how small it is because this just really helps you to work in smaller areas of the eyelid. It's a very peculiar scent, not peculiar scent, but it has a very floral scent to it, and it's not even like overpowering. Very interesting. Alright, so these are my 3 new additions into my Sonia G eyeshadow brush collection, and I'm so happy that I finally got them, and I'm also so glad that we're able to purchase them individually now, because sometimes with me, I am very particular with the brushes that I purchase, and I try to make sure that when I buy them, I am able to use them, because I do not like having brushes and they're just sitting there at the back of my brush kit here. So that's very, very important to me. And of course, one other thing, again, as I've been saying before, money doesn't grow on trees, so you have to be smart in the way that you actually purchase your brushes. Okay, so that's always my advice with the people that I work with, or the people who I constantly talk to when they are very interested in purchasing brushes. You have to know in particular and in detail what kind of brushes that you need for yourself. Now, before I close out this video, I am now on the Sonia G Brushes Instagram page. Yay! And as you guys can see, I'm sure we've seen this like when she released it a week ago or so that she is restocking some of her most beloved brushes, and I'm so sure that some of you are so excited that some of them are finally going to be coming back. So just to briefly enumerate, she's going to be coming back with her Blender Pro, Builder Pro, Crease Pro, Worker Pro, Pencil Pro. So this is part of her Pro eye set. And then she's also going to be restocking her Flat Definer, Soft Shader, and her Jumbo Blender. So this is part of the Sky Eye set. And then of course a Smooth Buffer. I love that brush. It's also going to be restocked. And of course her entire Fusion Series brush set is also going to be restocked. So yay! And then also finally her Designer Pro is also going to be restocked in Beautylish. So now I do have the Pro eye set with me. I'm just lacking the Pencil Pro brush right now because I left it back home in Metro Manila because I washed it like the night before I left here. But anyway, the main reason why I'm saying this is because I actually did have a video for the Pro eye set. So if you're interested, I'm gonna put a link down on the description box to that. Like, you know, it's a few years old, but whatever I said there still rings true, and I still use them that way. So look at that, the brush heads are still in good condition after all this time and after extensive use from work. So I'm so happy on the way that these brushes have actually, like, you know, gotten older, but they are still very, very strong and very, very resilient. Now, of the 3 brushes that she is restocking from her Sky Eye set, the Jumbo Blender is the brush that I don't use a lot when I am working. And the main reason why is because I am very careful in the way that I am actually applying eyeshadow into my eyes. But when it happens that I have actually, like, you know, added too strong a color onto my eyelid and I need to blend something out, the Jumbo Blender is the brush that I go to. So I grab it instantly, and this brush just really helps me to blend out hard edges like this. So I'm just laying the brush head here into the crease, as you guys can see right now. And I'm just able to blend out the color effortlessly. So this is what I love about the Jumbo Blender. And if you are someone who is very new into, like, you know, using strong eyeshadow colors in your eyes, and then you find that you're creating way too much mistakes and you're having trouble blending eye colors, having the Jumbo Blender at your disposal can really help you just to really blend out colors and to just really help you to create, like, you know, the eye shape that you need in your eyelid. And just like that, and that's the main reason why I didn't blend out this eyeshadow color earlier, is because I wanted to show you guys the power of the Jumbo Blender brush. And I think this brush is actually one of those brushes that's very underrated from the Sonia G line. And this is the only brush that I have seen from various brush brands that has this kind of ability. So as you guys can see, it's now very blended out, and it appears much softer now. So get the Jumbo Blender, okay? And the other brush that she is restocking is the Smooth Buffer brush. Now, I love this brush. It's one of my go-to brushes. And as you guys know, here in my channel, I love using finishing powders. I love using Guerlain Meteorites. I love using the Hourglass finishing powders. And I find that the brush head here fits into the pan or into the packaging of the Guerlain Meteorites. And it's actually resilient enough to break down those kind of formulas because they're much more, like, you know, harder. So they are able to actually break it down and to pick up the color and to transfer it on the cheeks. Now, I also love using the Smooth Buffer for very matte blush products because I find that because, you know, it's a different kind of brush head wherein it's soft yet it's strong. So when I am using this brush for like super matte blushes, especially, like, you know, those that are hard pressed, it's able to pick up the right amount of pigment, and it's also actually able to deliver it on the cheeks. Now, I bought, again, like, you know, cheap blush here. So this is it has a mirror here at the back. So this is, again, I think $2 and because I just want to show you guys how the Smooth Buffer works for this. So let me just pick up maybe this color here, and it's actually able to pick up some of the pigment, and with the mirror here at the back of the blush palette. So let me just tap the blush here on my cheeks with this brush, and I'm just smoothing it out, and I'm just blending it out. So as you guys can see, that's very well blended, and it has still that very nice pop of color onto the cheeks. So let me add one more layer. So as you guys can see, that's also one thing that I love using with the smooth buffer brush, is that it's actually able to build the layer of the color of the blush on the cheek effectively. And I also bought one other thing from that store. So I saw this highlighting powder, so let's try this. So how much is this? This is again like around 80 pesos, so that's around less than $2, I think, if my mathematics is correct. This is also made in China, and look at that very nice sheen of color that I was so attracted to. So let's just pick up some of that highlighting color with a smooth buffer, and let's just buff it into my cheeks and into that blush color. And this is the color that we get with these two blushes, and this is the type of blending that the smooth buffer brush also gives colors into the cheeks. And that's what I like about the smooth buffer. You're actually able to blend two different formulas and different colors, and you're able to create this very nice smooth coloring on the cheeks. Now I do have a video for the smooth buffer brush. I'm going to put a link down on the description box so that you can see my first impressions for the smooth buffer, and also the things that I initially thought that I'm going to use this for, and it still stands true today. And Sonia is also restocking on her Fusion series line, so I'm so happy for that, because I think a lot of you guys who are fans of Sonia missed out on some of her brushes from the Fusion series, and it's actually a very nice set to have, especially if you like using a lot of creams and liquids and long wear formulas in your makeup. And I only have 4 from her initial release, so I'm missing the classic base. The classic base is actually in my home in Metro Manila, because I actually washed it before coming here. Anyway, so I did create a video when I first purchased the Fusion series, so I'm gonna put the link down on the description box for that, okay? So you can go and check it out. And also, if you have seen my latest video, which is the mini Keyaki set from Sonia G, I now have the jumbo base for that, and I was very surprised on how the jumbo base actually works. And after I've shot that video, I was actually kicking myself on why I missed out on the jumbo base from the Fusion series set. But anyway, so now that I have the jumbo base from the mini Keyaki, and I have the Fusion series brushes. Technically, my Fusion series brush set from her is complete, but I am actually thinking of getting the jumbo base with the actual Fusion series handle, because this is too short. And again, with me, if I like something, I buy doubles. So and as I've said before, I like using one brush for deeper colors, and I like to use one brush for lighter colors. So particularly, I will be purchasing the jumbo base during this restock. And also, one other thing, by the way, I would like to talk about the jumbo worker from the mini Keyaki set, because I actually love this brush, and I've only used this once, and I really love the way it performs. And if you put the jumbo worker from the mini Keyaki set together with the Fusion series brushes, is actually a very nice brush set. Because I have here the jumbo concealer, and this brush I use particularly for concealers that are heavier. So those that are very, very thick and very difficult to work with and to blend, this is what I use. But if I want to use concealers that are much more lightweight, creamier, and much more liquidy, quote unquote, to use, the jumbo worker is actually very great to use in the under eye area. And you can also use this to contour with liquidy products and cream products. And if you want to apply a very diffused contouring color application on the cheeks, this is great. But I also like to use this for cream blushes. So anyway, if you want to see how I would use the jumbo worker from the mini Keyaki set. I'm gonna put a link down on the description box to my video for the mini Keyaki set volume 2 so that you can go and see it. But I do have to say, having these brushes together is a match made in heaven. So I'm so glad that I was able to get this. And the final brush that he's restocking is the Designer Pro brush, but unfortunately I do not have that. So I couldn't give my opinions about it. But yeah, so that's it for me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video of me just yapping about here in my doorstep. If you have any more questions about everything that I show you today, please leave them down at the comments box and let's talk about it, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye.